Hey gang, this is Mortar, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show at Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you the latest exclusive breaking news, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday, and interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, that guy, James J., alongside the leader of Squash Squad, Kaliko Yachts.
That would be Super Bowl champion, national champion, Georgia Bulldog, squash squad leader, Kaliko Yachts to you.
Well, my apologies. And, and the American Scooter Dust, who should be joining us in a few moments. It was a great week for Wrestling with Entertainment, as last Wednesday on the show we interviewed Mortal. And one does not simply interview Mortal, so that was a great honor. Interesting interview with somebody that kind of just reinvented himself and walking through those that new character, and it's a great interview that you should definitely go back into the archives and watch. New upcoming this Wednesday, we got Niko Maestro, a veteran from Finland, and we talked just about everything: American wrestling, Finnish wrestling, um, reindeer stew. We talk about video games. He has his own video game, Kaliko. Niko Maestro, the wrestler, the game, and
Ooh, I wonder if it's on ColecoVision.
maybe maybe he could get some rights to that. We'll see what happens there. There is rumors of a part two, so we'll keep you updated on that. But for right now, here's a small clip of that interview. You said about the more animated characters. Is that what they just announcer just called you Glass Joe out of nowhere?
Oh no, that's fine. That's the second time I was in Hood Slam, and the thing was it was a video game show. So in that show they didn't have a single I guess we'd call them regular wrestler or just like nobody was there themselves. So they said that they like me to be on the show, but we gotta figure out the character, and then uh, yeah, we thought about Glass Joe because those are familiar with Mike Tyson's Punch Out. So he's this tall, skinny European guy. I mean, I think he's French. I'm from Finland, but I seem to fit the picture really well. So now it's a good time. But also the thing is that feels like a 1 minute match or so because Glass Joe is like the easiest opponent ever. So I was actually wrestling Shaggy O'Neal from a video game called Shag Fu. So they had like this crossover between fighting games. So yeah, he did this slam dunk choke slam on me, and yeah, this wrestler called Big B was portraying Shaggy O'Neal. Good times, man, good times.
And the week after that, we got Shannon Lavangi. So every Wednesday, great interviews. Check our social media at Wrestling with E on Twitter for new information on who we're interviewing and when. Alright, it was not a great day for wrestling as former WCW and WWE referee Mickey J passed away earlier this week. Your thoughts, Kaliko?
Yes. I mean, it's like every day, every week we see here this stuff, man. It sucks. And it's just condolences, like to any of those people. And especially like referees, because like, I think if you have good referees, they make the match flow very seamlessly. And I just hope that like now refs can be considered heavy, like on the same pedestals as wrestlers. But I don't think that's going to happen until Earl Hebner dies. Kind of like when wrestling announcers really wasn't taken seriously, like Okerlund died.
Right.
I think it's going to kind of be that same thing with reps.
And we're being joined by Scooter Dust.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, that's my gimmick. Your thoughts on the passing of Mickey J?
Oh God, Mickey J, what a oh man, what a loss. One of the more recognizable referees of the modern era who didn't come out of Stanford. You know, to me, aside from Nick Patrick, Randy Anderson, Mickey J is probably the most known referee after those two. Oh man, it's a tragic loss. I mean, I think it just goes to show that there's there's a lot of times where we kind of forget that there's more than just the performers in the ring that are telling the story, and a lot of people seem to forget these days that the referee is a performer as well.
Oh, of course.
So, and the one thing Mickey J did better than anybody, even better than Hebner, was phantom bumping. Whenever there was a huge bump in the ring, and you can go back and look at any of the matches he's refed, whenever there was a big bump, he would react to it as if he was taking the bump.
That is a lost art because you would think with you being so close to the action, your body would move as the ring moves, kind of like a ripple effect.
Yeah.
And you only really see that with Red Shoes Ono now in New Japan. He does some phantom bumping, but no, you're absolutely right. That's something you don't see that kind of adds to what you're watching.
But then again, I have my theory about Red Shoes. I think Red Shoes is Liger and Liger is Red Shoes, but I can't prove it.
Well, that's a completely different topic for another time.
Of course.
Of course, our thoughts and prayers go out to the friends and family of Mickey G. On to a lighter subject. It was a great day for Johnny Wrestling as Candice LeRae gave birth to Baby Wrestling.
Quill Gargano.
Yes.
You gotta love wrestlers who are giant nerds.
What is that a reference to?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, okay. Peter Quill.
Star Lord.
Wow. Okay, I did not get that, but okay, cool.
Although Quill could have, we wouldn't even had in game had Quill didn't get emotional, but that's a whole different topic.
Yeah.
Also, I'm a bit surprised because Gargano is, well, if you've seen any of his Twitch streams, he seems to be more of a Star Wars fan than Marvel, but they're both on the same level.
Well, we don't know what Candace, what her fandom lies. So maybe she's more of a Marvel fan.
But then again, Gargano, he always does like something. His ring gear is Marvel heavy. So,
Carnage, Wolverine, Iron Man.
yep, Iron Man, yeah.
When do you see when do you think we'll see Quill Gargano in the NXT ring? Kaliko.
I don't know about NXT. Maybe when if Champa's kid is there, DIY too.
2.0, Willow and Quill.
Willow and Quill, DIY too.
What say you, Scooter?
I mean, they could form Team OPDIFU, Team Our Parents Did It For Us. Um, My guess would be sometime after 2040. Just a wild guess.
Alright. Well, we don't know what will be in 2040, but we so will mark the calendar.
I will be literally dust.
Hopefully, I'll be alive. Kaliko Vision will be dead, but let's hope Kaliko's alive.
Okay, Kaliko Hearing will still be, on the fence.
Bro, it's on the fence now.
Alright. While you're all here for this week, Cody Rhodes left AEW. He is no longer All Elite. Scooter, what impact does this make on the wrestling world, honestly?
Well, considering that all signs are him pointing to returning to Stanford, if Cody does return to the WWE, because let's face it, it's either the WWE or nothing.
I mean, there's always New Japan.
And I wouldn't even say New Japan with all the working stuff with AEW. Cody, the question remains: was Cody bringing in the money, or was all those side projects just feeding Cody's overinflated ego? And I'm not implying that his ego is overinflated, but he has a reality show, he has the Go Big show, which I believe he is still locked into.
Yes, he's still like because they just started. So
Yeah, they're on season 2, I believe.
two,
Yeah.
yeah, they just started the season. So yeah,
Yeah, they're almost at the end of it.
And
really, I always
Yeah.
felt like it started.
and all the hosts are executive producers, but I think Cody could be replaced on that show, and no one would bat an eye. Um, and this was the argument I was seeing a lot of was Cody wanted the money, and he wanted the power of the book, and with the rumors that he'd be returning to WWE, the logic behind it was, well, if he's not going to get both, might as well go to the company that at least give him one of those things.
Right. I mean, obviously Dusty was a big part of WWE, so maybe they'll draw him a bone every now and again to do something creatively as well.
the question of whether or not Cody's upgraded status in the wrestling world would transfer back over to the WWE. If Cody ends up back in the WWE and not just flat out, retiring, because if he doesn't go back to the ring, yeah, he'll get it. He'll get an office job. I think without a doubt. Because honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing Cody take charge of NXT. But if that if that fandom comes with him from AEW, it proves the one of the questions that we've been asking ever since AEW, AEW's inception, is that yes, going from WWE to AEW puts you in the spotlight, but what about going the other way?
Right.
Will it mean that other AEW talent will attempt to seek out greener pastures in what is no doubt going to be a laundry list of non-renewed contracts?
Which we all know is coming in the coming months. What say you, Kaliko, about the whole Cody situation and him leaving?
Everything Scooter said was on point, but I take it from a, a standpoint of, you remember when everybody was like, oh my God, everybody's going to AEW, everybody's going to AEW, everybody's going to AEW, and that pendulum was heading that one way, but no one really thought about it swinging back the other way until now. Like, I don't think the reality hit until now, because think about it, we always hear like bad rumors about WWE and the talent being disgruntled and da 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 da. I'm not surprised. We've never heard that from the AEW side,
Until
other
now.
than like Big Swole until now, right? So you would think some of the same frustrations would be there because it's part of the business. That's part of the nature, right?
Right.
So, especially with a guy like Cody, who's day one, and if think about, yeah, he was in the TNT realm, but I remember he had a promo on AEW where he said, I got the contract and that wasn't enough money. And people just blew by it. And I was like, that's a weird comment to make.
That was the one with the ladder in the ring, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
But little did we know he was actually speaking facts. And I would be surprised if it swung the other way. I think Cody used that to launch himself as a bigger star than he was in WWE. And the question is, could it transfer? I think it could, because it just depends on how he comes back, right? How he comes back, is he a mid Carter or is he in the upper echelon? Because keep in mind, AEW, he couldn't be in the main title picture.
Right.
So why resign somewhere where he lost a match in which he would never be AEW champion? So the ceiling was already set on himself.
I mean, it's wrestling. Nothing is set in stone. I don't think a lot of
That is
people
true.
thought that we would say Cody Rhodes was coming back to WWE this soon after the debut of EW.
I mean, it could have happened, yeah. Because think about it. What the cook was always Omega and the Bucks and
Oh, yeah.
Adam Cole. It wasn't fucking Cody Rhodes.
No.
Yeah.
And from
But
what I hear, there was issues between Cody and the Bucks and Kenny. There was some type of falling out. If you
Yeah,
read
because think
the
about it. He's the storytelling wrestler. And what is AEW lacking?
story,
Thank you.
there's also, I think, one other factor that I think people are overlooking, but not by choice. They just happen to forget it, and that's what Cody's relationship was like with Mr. Brody Lee.
meaning,
Me, meaning Cody essentially had what we can basically claim as an endorsement from Amanda Huber, the Brody's
a widow.
widow,
No.
and that I think speaks volumes more than you know those who have been keeping tabs on the Bucks, Kenny, and Adam Page, from Japan, and it's having that you know endorsement as a not just as a talent but as a human being to have that respect that comes with it, and just a lot more people would listen to that just simply because of the gravity of the situation. Uh, and I think that would bring a lot more, you know, I think it would bring a lot more of the casual fans back.
What say you, Kaliko?
I think she's taking his spot in some of his charities as he's leaving. So I kind of see his point there. I'm just trying to figure out, like, well, sorry, the little man, he makes his debut.
Sorry for Kaliko's son.
But I think there's a validity to that. But I don't know if it has to do with. I think it's more he's trying to be a bigger star because I think he got a taste of the Hollywood, and AEW was only going to get him so far, right? If he joins the E, he's getting those certain roles. I mean, look at Miz as a perfect example. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, yes, but that that's it. Almost, I think what Cody was trying to be in AEW. He was trying to be the AEW Miz, and whether if he comes back to the E, I don't see Cody, doing the reality show and having all that, you know, freedom to a point.
Well, no, you put votes to the top on USA after Raw. Nobody's gonna bat an eye to that. They might even put some more eyes on the show.
That is a good point, but then that's all. It's also in the camp of it's not a Stanford creation, therefore, yeah. There's just so many ways that this can play out, and we just have to wait and see.
Right.
I will say this though, Cody was always going to end up being the oddball in AEW because he's considered the home because he's the homegrown quote unquote WWE guy.
Right.
So even if he puts on as many good 5-star matches and whatever the fuck 5-star matches, and even he could put on a million matches and they would still look at him like that's the AEW guy, that's the WWE guy. So you might as well go ahead and be in WWE and get that paper. You know what I'm saying?
On the opposite end of that spectrum, Brandy Rhodes is joining him. Um, well, if you believe rumor and innuendo, she wasn't really liked in AEW, but people kind of just dealt with her because she was Cody's wife. Um, another end of that is every time it seems like she got something started, wrestling wise, something something would happen to it. Whether it be the Awesome Kong storyline, having shoulder surgery, having a baby, and now getting fired. Has it ever been in the cards for Brandy? Is it just terrible timing?
I will say this: as much as Brandy was trying, the Rhodes were the most tone deaf wrestlers I've ever seen in my life when it came to racial issues. Jesus Christ. I'm like, man. Someone said, name a match that always happens. And it was like, Brandy and Cody versus tone deafness as far as racial equality. I'm like, holy shit. So, I, she was never going to get in as a wrestler because remember, she tried to do wrestling and she couldn't. And it ended up being an announcer. So,
WWE knows these things.
right. I mean, she's not even Eva Marie. I mean,
True.
and, and that says a lot.
What say you, Scooter?
Mm, I mean, I enjoyed Brandy as a ring announcer, and that's about it for me. Uh, you know, I think we could possibly get something interesting out of maybe Cody and Brandy against. Well,
Miz and
well,
Maurice?
that and plus I was going to say Triple H and Steph before I realized, oh yeah, Triple H's heart. Uh,
What?
Oh, God. Maurice would look like Bret the Hitman Hart next to fucking Brandy.
I
Well, she
mean,
is Canadian. Right. From one celebrity to another. Logan Paul is almost all but confirmed for WrestleMania 38. Is this going to put asses in seats, Scooter?
no, but I think seeing Steve Austin stun him might
So we're going to
because
see Logan Paul versus Stone Cold at Mania? That's
not
what he's
well
racing the boots
not
up for again?
not a not a match per se. Even though there's the whole rumor of Austin now coming back for a potential not full time run, but for at least a few matches. Um,
I heard just one match against KO.
if if it could be, mm, if that happens, then Logan Paul gets involved in that. Clearly,
Doesn't that, like, really taint the Stone Cold return if Logan Paul is involved? It just becomes a gimmick match if that happens.
I mean, the question is, will the match be more than just kick, stun, or pin?
I don't think Stone Cold is coming back for just a 30-second match, especially if he's going to lace up boots and, actually train for it. I mean, kick and stun is just, coming down from the ranch and getting paid at this point for him.
I mean, I wouldn't. I would. I would maybe even wait. Hold off on doing that and do KO Logan Paul. And then you have you have somebody backing Logan. You have Austin backing KO. Boom, and then next night on Raw, KO big heel turn, and you get KO and Austin at WrestleMania Backlash.
Oh my god. Why do you think WWE has such a boner for Logan Paul? Is it to get to his brother, who's actually something in the world?
I'm guessing that Jacksepticeye and PewDiePie were busy.
Well, for reference, my son is 5, and he knows to hate Logan Paul. So,
Wow. Teaching on the young for the
but I think it can't be Paul versus Owens, because Owens is literally the big show at this point with heel face turns. Jeez.
And
So, God.
I also have to just say I haven't seen anything about Logan Paul at WrestleMania.
Obviously you're not checking the proper seats.
Literally about maybe 5 hours ago.
Well,
So this is
news to you. Hello?
wait a minute, hold on. Uh wait, we could be seeing both the Paul brothers.
Oh my God, 100,000 people. I'm put it like this: if you thought San Diego booing him was bad, and I was there, 100,000 people boo. Boy,
Uh,
stop.
and if that actually happens, I'm seeing the Paul brothers against the New Day.
Jesus,
How
why do they do the New Day so dirty?
Well, why are they doing Big E so dirty?
Well, it
I
was
mean,
an
that guy was literally
experiment,
the champion
and
coming into 2022. And,
well, mm, the chase was more interesting than the run. That's the problem.
well, because they didn't give him anything. They dropped him to Roman the next month, and then they didn't have a pay-per-view in December, and then his singles match against Seth Rollins was turned into the clusterfuck battle royal that Brock Lesnar won.
Which Brock Lesnar won. But that's my point. I get what you're saying. It was an experiment, and they looked at it like that, even though we all look at it like it was a fucked up timing that they gave him the title. Because if he had it in the summer, I think it would have meant a little bit more if he had a summer run.
Right.
I mean, shit. Jinder Mahal got a better run than
Yes,
Biggie.
he did.
But that's a whole different topic for a whole different day.
But what do you think about Stone Cold possibly coming for one last match at WrestleMania 38? And personally, I feel like he had his power moment at 19. He had a fantastic shoot 'em up with The Rock, a barn burner against one of the biggest stars of all time. Anything that's after that is just meh, honestly.
Well, the issue is that it's Texas, so they're trying to they put themselves in a corner trying to do 2 nights. That's basically what it is. So they're trying to make it as Texas heavy as possible. I'm surprised they're not trying to put the Freebirds back together and fucking do some shit. So
not to mention that it's 100,000 seat arena for 2 nights, so it's 200,000 people.
No, because the people who are there will have tickets for both nights. So
not everybody will though.
Yeah,
I will. I got 2 ton tickets, so yeah. For the most part, people are buying it for the package.
Yep. It's too bad you're gonna miss out on the Hall of Fame. We'll get
Actually, I think it's on Friday.
Yeah.
Yep. It is that, as we speculated, would be it's a 2-for-1 deal for SmackDown.
Which is the fucking oddest thing I've ever seen in my life.
And it probably has one of the biggest marquees of all time on it, The Undertaker.
Yeah, you could sell that bitch out just on Taker alone.
And he's announced, so I mean, it's no surprise Undertaker's going into the Hall of Fame now, right?
I mean, it was always going to happen in Texas. It was just a matter of what day.
Yeah. It would have had to been The Undertaker and Rock, the two probably most overlooked for the Hall of Fame. And
I mean, he's only been retired 2 years now, so.
Yeah, but people were kind of this
Rock is going to be alive.
Yeah, but yeah, the question is, who inducts him?
Stone Cold.
Vince, Shawn, surviving members of the streak. I mean, there's so many ways to go, but the problem, my issue is he going to be the only member, considering the Hall of Fame is going to be after SmackDown, and is it a 1 hour or 2 hour show?
Let's see. I mean, they could induct Shawn Michaels again.
The Rockers.
Yeah, with Marty Jannetty.
Marty Jannetty will be on Hot Cloud 12.
They can induct the guy that Marty Jannetty supposedly murdered.
Yeah, they'll probably induct Mickey.
Mickey James or Mickey J?
Mickey Mouse. Yes, Mickey James.
Yeah, kind of ridiculous.
Is Michelle McCool in the Hall of Fame?
I want to say no.
I wouldn't be surprised if Lay Cool gets a call.
No, Lay Cool, no. Michelle McCool, maybe.
I know Layla.
Got me on my knees. Layla. I think Eric Clapton has a better chance of getting in the WWE Hall of Fame before Layla does.
Really?
What do you know that we don't?
I just like making Layla jokes.
Layla.
Yes, and Clapton will headline WrestleMania Unplugged. No, See, I honestly think, I mean, the money points to Kane.
Oh, to induct? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If it's not Vince, it should be Kane.
I think this is the year also Vader finally gets in.
Who knows at this point? But, just as a rep, they could bring Giant Gonzalez to induct him.
I don't know. I mean, if the WWE figured out a way to reanimate the dead, yeah, we got bigger things to worry about.
I mean, yeah. Watch. I mean, a Paul Bearer hologram He's
Hey,
on the menu.
they brought back a fucking Adam Cole from the dead.
Well,
So it's possible.
I mean,
They have the Lazarus pit
I mean,
somewhere.
I guess the other definite name would probably be Bruce Pritchard to induct him.
Oh, that would make sense. That'd be cool.
Or maybe even DiBiase.
Interesting.
Who else? Lex Luger will get in this year.
Why you say that?
He was one of the big names being rumored before Undertaker was even announced. I think Lex is a definite.
Let's going back to the whole AEW thing. They had the lowest ratings to date on TBS. And some fans were even saying that they will stop watching because Cody is not on the show. That doesn't make sense considering that they hated him and didn't want him in AEW anymore because they didn't like what he was doing. No?
But these are hardcore fans we're dealing with here, so God knows what the fuck they're thinking. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't take anybody's word seriously. Because I guess they wanted someone to cuss out at, because I guess they got nobody to cuss out at, because they cheer everybody that's in the goddamn ring,
Well,
except for goddamn Cody.
well, I think we have to measure this by the ratings of the night when and if Cody returns. Which, if the WWE is smart, they'll capitalize on this and make him, the big WrestleMania night after return.
From what I hear, they have Cody in a match on the Marquee for Mania. And depending on
But he
how
has to,
tickets sell slow, they might maybe want to promote that as soon as possible.
but he has to come back with the Smoke and Mirrors fucking theme song, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure we're all in accordance there.
I mean, I mean, unless back when Cody was undergoing a gimmick change, and I'm like, oh my god, we're finally getting Silver Dust, and then it turns out to be Stardust.
Yes.
Like, oh, I mean, I'll give a little personal anecdote here. Back when Dustin Rhodes was first Goldust, I had come up with Silver Dust. I'm not taking credit for the overall invention of the name and the gimmick, but it was just something because my friends at the time were obsessed with him, and they were also obsessed with Blue Dust, the Blue Meanie. So we all took colors, and I'm like, I'm Silver Dust, bitch. Technically, I was Silver Dust before Scooter Dust, so.
But you gotta give him props though. He made that shit work.
To a point. And then it just become, why are they still continuing this?
I mean, you could if you bring in Cena back for a match, you get that whole Green Arrow Peacemaker connection, and then you have and then you could maybe even bring in the Justice League, and then you do something with Roman and Jason Momoa. Oh my God, the ideas are just pouring out.
Vin Diesel?
Vin Diesel's not a Justice League member.
He's not a Justice League member, but he's John Cena's brother.
Yeah, true.
And they could have a match against Roman and The Rock.
Family.
Exactly.
Family. I mean, honestly, I would just rather see, John Cena just, making fart noises and cursing up a storm in his tidy whities any day of the week. I mean, by the way, shout out to Peacemaker, wrapping up the first season, renewed for season 2. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. HBO Max. Cheap plug.
We're not getting any money for that.
You're not. You're not. I am.
How dare you
Bam.
promote things on my show and get money? So AEW just that night for ratings, considering what they were up against.
I mean, it was a bombshell, though. It was kind of a. I mean, aftermath of it, you'll see how it goes. I mean,
I think that's a great segue into our next topic. 205 is being rebranded as LVL Up. Scooter, your thoughts?
NXT Level Up.
No, 205.
Yeah, I know, but 205 Live is becoming NXT Level Up.
Oh,
That's what it is.
okay.
Yes, that's what. And
I thought it was LVL Up.
No, not LOL Up.
Volvo.
Oh.
Well, they didn't spell that right.
honestly, I thought you said a roll up, like rolling up a joint. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Like you really thought LOL Up. I mean, considering the fact that NXT is always being pronounced next by idiots, and it doesn't have the vowel, so LVL Level Up. Yeah, it's a second vehicle for NXT, which is not a bad thing. It's a taped format, like
Because we need to see more of Von Ragnar's Fivehead, right?
I mean, if it's roll up, Snoop Dogg's weed stash, you know.
I mean, with Von Wagner, spoiler, it's a tumor.
Is that NXT's new show?
Spoiler, it's a tumor.
Yeah. But it's spelled SPL.
I'm just a one-man tumor. No, this is a. I don't want to say it's dark, but I do want to say it's dark elevation.
It could be
So
advanced darkness.
Advanced darkness. Ah. So I guess this is light elevation.
Because if dark elevation was too heavy, then you need light elevation.
Or I guess it would be light. If we're doing the opposite, it'd be light descending. Dissension.
That seems very complicated and convoluted.
Yes. Either way, there will not be any actual leveling up on NXT Level Up. Let's just make that clear.
No. You're not going to see Braun Breaker versus Tommaso Ciampa Dre for the NXT champion on that show.
However, you will see what's his name? Idris Elba. Inafe, Malik Yoba, Malik Blade. That's it. I got there. Uh,
I was about to say New York. Malik Yoba's the guy from New York
yeah,
Undercover, right?
undercover. Yes. And Cool Runnings. Uh, um,
What the hell are we talking about?
I don't know. It's another show for NXT, which will. Alright, let's be honest, it won't go anywhere.
Kaliko, confirm what Scooter just said. Or not?
Let, let's be honest, it won't go anywhere. Scooter is right.
There you go. Guess we lost Scooter.
No, I'm not dead. Fuck all that. See, I gotta give suspense, but to me, it's like, why? Why? Why have level up? NXT is already bad enough. I mean, like I told you, I'd rather have it called Rolled Up with Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa. At least that would be NXT Roll Up.
Might as well refer to it as NXT Higher Calling.
Ooh, that would be.
And you have people, you have it's a completely watch. It's a complete. It's something. I imagine it's like something like Southpaw, except they're all dressed like marijuana strains. Like here comes Pineapple Kush. Here comes Lemon Haze. Here comes Maui Wowie.
Is there any wrestling promotions based off of weed?
Uh, I would say
I
Gentleman
wouldn't be
Championship
surprised.
Wrestling, but
I would not be surprised.
I would also say oh yeah, Pro Wrestling Underground. Uh, uh, the MTV thing, Wrestling Society X. Um, and I'm pretty. Didn't Snoop actually try to launch a promotion at one point?
I do feel like I vaguely remember that. So, okay, yeah.
And of course we can't forget, AEW.
Oh, yeah, of course.
The
Uh,
Weed League.
right, let's get into another bit of news. Matt Cardona wins the NWA Championship, and the crowd and the crickets go wild.
How dare you? How dare you? How how dare you, sir?
Oh, you're a Matt Cardona fan all of a sudden?
You know what? No, I will say this because and the only reason I give Matt Cardona mad credit is because that motherfucker was ahead of his time. Because he got punished for the same shit that WWE is doing now, right? Like all this YouTube shit. He was doing that shit before anybody. He was the MC Hammer of it all. He started it and made it popular, and he took the brunt for it. So I'm happy for him being bigger and better since he left. Because that motherfucker, as much as most people take being the WWE guy and using it to blame other people, he took it and like made it a heel thing.
Hmm, interesting perspective. Scooter, sit on Matt Cardona.
Boo hoo hoo. Um, yes. Uh, God, I really want to lay into this, but I really also don't want to be canceled. Um, so I'll just specify that what I'm about to say comes from the movie Waiting with Ryan Reynolds and Justin Long. So Matt Cardona is the NWA champion. That's like being the smartest kid with Down syndrome. as said by John Francis Daly in the movie Waiting.
Alright. Now, let's get on to all this last bit of news before we get out of here. Um, the Elimination Chamber event is on as we speak. And if you're not listening to this, you should be listening to what, Scooter?
I'm not sure. Because as of yesterday, UNB is no more.
Ooh.
However, I am proud to say that while the remix will not be broadcasting for Elimination Chamber as originally planned, the remix will be broadcasting for WrestleMania both nights as part of the brand new revamped Nobody Else Digital Affiliate production YouTube channel. It will be a streaming live sidecast. So you will be able to listen to it live on YouTube as we stream, guess what? Directly from Jitsi.
Hey!
So more on that in the future. Keep your eyes peeled to Twitter for more on that.
Hi. As we speak, it's going on. We'll probably all asleep when that comes on. But one and more a match announced since the show since preview last week. Ronda Rousey and Naomi will take on Sonya Deville and Charlotte.
We
Scooter, who
we
wins the
we did
match?
mention that in passing. We did mention it in passing last week.
It wasn't technically confirmed.
It wasn't technically confirmed. God, there's a stipulation to this match, isn't there? Uh, hmm. Depends if Sonya, if Sonya's, jacking it off.
Well, I think that's the point of having a match. Is
Jack it on, jack it off, jack it on, jack it off.
Yes.
It's really annoying when somebody knocks on the door and goes, "Are you jacking on in there?" Clearly it's Ronda and Naomi that will win. But knowing this, watch Ronda decide to beat the shit out of Naomi for no reason. Because Ronda is unsure of what Ronda is these days.
Isn't she? She's Rowdy Ronda.
I'd rather see Paige Van Zandt, quite honestly.
Yeah, but I think everybody does.
Oh, please let it be Paige.
Hell, I'd settle for Misha Tate at this point. Who's currently on
Gina Carano. Gina Carano.
No, Gina Carano's been canceled.
Damn. Alright, what say you, Kaliko?
I see what they're trying to do, but it would have to be Charlotte and Jack It Off, right?
Because you have to continue that story with Naomi, and the second part is you can't just give Ronda another win right before she's about to win at Mania, right?
But the question is now whether or not Ronda does actually win at Mania.
I mean, she didn't come back to lose, no?
The most surprising stuff at WrestleMania ever since the Women's Royal Rumble has always it's revolved around Charlotte.
You're not wrong about that, but I could see why they went with Charlotte rather than Becky. because the crowd is more inclined to boo Charlotte than they would be to boo Becky.
And I would almost guarantee we're going to see an inverse. That somehow the crowd is gonna get behind Charlotte again.
At the last moment.
Yeah, because yes, wrestling fans are very fickle, but uh, they're even more fickle towards those who honestly believe haven't paid their dues.
But me,
And that's still Ronda is still green in the eyes of many.
now me and Kaliko talked about this on our watch along of the Ronda Charlotte match from Survivor Series. And we kind of felt like she kind of paid her dues in that match specifically.
Mm, one match does not maketh the woman.
What say you, Kaliko?
But considering that she took them ass whoopings with them kendo sticks and they gave her the Michael Irvin treatment, yeah, they did. She paid her dues. But it's like she's Cody, you know. She's the wrestling girl. Give me 1 second.
They gave her the Michael Irving treatment so she could dole out the Michael Vick treatment.
I'm not sure what that means, but I think it's bad.
The question is, has Ronda learned not to shout, "Are you ready?" right before her friggin' finisher?
Well, uh, another thing that
Uh,
Scooter once again got
yes.
wrong last week on the preview.
No, no. I had I had two situations. One,
You had two scenarios.
one was if Bailey was the mystery entrant, and two was if Alexa Bliss was the other one. So I am officially going with Liv, even though if it's already happened by this point, I don't care. I'll go back in friggin' time. I've got a DeLorean. I can do that shit.
Okay. Kaliko, if you're still there, who wins the women's elimination chamber? You got two picks.
Yoshihashi.
Somebody from Alabama.
Fuck the Bulldogs. Who said that?
Well, until then, Scooter, what are your thoughts on Ronda Rousey?
Fuck Ronda Rousey.
Alright, great. I feel like
There we go. Now I'm back. This motherfucking button was being a little bitch. Okay. I wish Yoshihashi's punk ass was in that match just so he could get his ass kicked, to be quite honest. Because Yoshihashi, bro, don't even get me started with Yoshihashi. But anywho, alright. So, who will win the women's elimination chamber match? I'm gonna go with Bliss. It's gotta be Bliss of Belair. Because Ripley's fucking with Ash. No, never mind. Liv or Bliss. Because Duo Drop is fucking with Bianca. Rhea's fucking with Ash. So it's only Bliss or Morgan.
I went with either Belair or Morgan.
I, I can't see Belair unless they're going to really give her the belt at Mania. But I don't see them doing that twice. So that's why I can't see it going back to back.
Well, let me ask you this. Uh, on Peacock, there is a new show called Bel Air, which is a new take on the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Do you see Bianca Belair appearing on Bel Air on Peacock?
If it was more of the comedy sense, yes, but it seems more darker than I.
Wow.
It's a lot darker than the original.
That would be pandering at its lowest
And
level.
it's
But the person named Belair on the show called Belair.
true that.
Well, it makes more sense than having Liv on there.
I mean, if there was something called the Fresh Princess of Dewdrop, idea for a children's book.
Alright, Kaliko, and who wins the men's Elimination Chamber?
That's a tougher one.
By the way, I'm going to change my pick after Kaliko.
My mind is telling me let's go this. My heart is telling me my heart wants to say Lashley or Rollins. My mind is telling me Brock. And the reason being, they wouldn't have brought up Brock trying to unify those titles if they didn't think it was going to happen.
I see your point, but I feel like it's just something that they said rather than something they want to do. Maybe just take the temperature of it.
Well, the only reason I can see him doing it is because considering that champ would be working double duty, and I could totally see them having Roman do double duty
I could
to
see that.
freshen the storyline. But I could also see Seth winning it, but then again, the question is, if Seth wins, who is he fighting? At Mania.
Let's
Scooter
see,
brought up that it could be Owens.
I thought the story points to KO
So it would be Seth KO Mania
Again.
too.
Yeah.
for the title. Which, I mean, technically, they've been out and in with that story the whole year, so that makes sense. So Brock and Seth, there you go.
Fucking Seth. I picked
Yeah.
AJ and Seth, and Scooter, you said you wanted to change.
Yes, I am going with Brock.
All right.
I'm going with Brock. Brock is going to win. I'm sorry, that's not a prediction. That's a fucking spoiler. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, kayfabe, it's Friday.
Bastard.
And my mulligan remains as Riddle.
All right. We will.
Wait a minute. That's your Mulligan Riddle?
Yep.
Might as well go Austin Theory. Shit.
Well, they want Theory to be a champion, just not yet. But it's basing on the fact that if they want Riddle and Orton when they break up and have that blow off match, they want it to be a title match.
See, I would have had him do it earlier with the briefcase, but that's which would have negated the whole Big E shit.
But yeah, with Orton and Riddle, we're looking at a Mega Powers-esque situation.
Jealousy in your eyes, brother. Yeah.
When did Riddle's wife get into this? All right.
Riddle's wife has a very deep voice.
You mean the It's the scooter, bro. Yeah.
Who mentioned my name?
But guess who shows up for no reason at all? Yeah. Send for the man.
And that will conclude our
I'm so lonely.
Unfortunately, I know what time you mean. Anyway, that will conclude the show for now. Join us next week as we do a full deep dive on all things Elimination Chamber and our review.
Wait, did you just say a full D bag?
No. What? A full review.
I know you like. Oh, I thought you said a dime bag. Like,
Yeah,
I know you.
I heard D bag something.
I know we talked about roll up, but damn, James, I know we in Cali and all, but
I mean,
hold your horses, bro.
I was about to say, who put the spam in my acid?
I mean, I know Snoop rolled up on stage, but calm down, James.
Of
Also,
course, if you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. Of course, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Um, Follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on Twitter and Instagram for all your wrestling with entertainment needs. Um, and join us this Wednesday as we interview Niko Maestro. And you can follow all of us individually on Twitter as well. I am at JameJ993. Where can they find Kaliko?
Find me getting ready to hit this road, cause we going to Mania, baby, and I am Kaliko.
And where can they find Scooter?
well, when I'm not writing hilarious emails to Zeta Zang's manager, you can find me on Twitter at ScooterDust as always, and now as the host of the remix on YouTube. More details to come. James will be coming along for that ride as well. It should be fun, unless, of course, I go crazy and, climb a clock tower. And, of course, join Rico Constantino Jr. and myself, along with the rest of the Smoky Dragons bench, twitch.tv/Smoky Dragons, who, for some reason, have to pander and buy all the stuff and copy us with Rogue Energy. But we won't buy it. We trusted it so much. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying anymore. Cut.
I thought you was gonna say you were tweeting Zendaya. I was like, damn, you tweeting that
Zendaya.
Zendaya, Mary Jane Parker, yeah. Oh.
It's Michelle Jones Watson, dumbass.
But she becomes Parker in the comic books, yeah.
That's what I'd like to do. I'd like to park her on my couch.
I don't know why.
Maybe somewhere in the back seat near the refrigerator, yeah.
Kind of like what I did with Liz back in '79.
Oh, glory days of Florida Championship Wrestling, yeah.
Dig it.
Anthem. For Kaliko Yacht Scooter. I'm James J. And this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah. God.
Hey guys, this is Brutal Bob Evans from Hangs with Bob Seminars and TheWrestleLife.com, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.